I wanted to discuss just very quickly an issue that people have noticed in Oakleigh in recent weeks and months, and that is the Atherton Road reconstruction project, which has resulted in, amongst other things, a number of mature plane trees being cut down. You might have noticed the lack of trees in Atherton Road in recent weeks. You've probably noticed that there is a lot of roadworks happening if you've travelled through Oakleigh in recent months around the CBD of Oakleigh. Let me be very clear at the outset that I don't believe trees should be cut down when there's nothing wrong with them. They're not dead, they're not causing a nuisance or safety hazard to people. It's very, very rare that a tree has to be cut down anywhere, whether it be public property or private property. And in this case, we're talking about public land, council land, communities land, roads, footpaths, where there is an active interest, public interest in these trees and the way that they have shaped our community for decades. The council had a project that it put to the community to resurface Atherton Road. Most of it has already been done, from Princess Highway down into Atkinson Street and then into Warrigal Road, which takes in a lot of trading precinct. And the proviso was, when officers came to us over 2 years ago, that they would do what they could to save as many trees as possible, not to damage any trees. There might be 1, 2, 3, 4, even 5 trees that would have to be removed, but the overwhelming majority of them would be saved, particularly if they were not dead. In any case, none of them were found to be dead. Having said that, after looking into the matter more closely, it was found that there were a number of trees that could not be saved. That is, to resurface the road and the footpath and to widen the footpath in certain areas, there was no alternative than to remove perfectly good trees. That added to, in my opinion, the amenity of the community, the welcoming nature of Oakleigh, and certainly the environment around Oakleigh. We were told that there would be no alternative, as I said, and that although not the ideal situation, the trees had to be removed. Now, I didn't agree with that then. I still don't agree that there's never an alternative. There always is some solution to something. Some things cost money, some things take more time. But I certainly did what I could to save those trees, and it was actually decided in a meeting late last year, 2018, in this very chamber, to remove those trees. And I think the vote was something like 4-7, or maybe it was 5-6. I can't recall if everyone was in the meeting, but certainly the majority of my colleagues decided to remove those trees, with the rationale being that it was too late to do anything to save them, or the cost outweighed saving them. That is, we're spending a few $1 million on resurfacing Atherton Road, and that it was too late to stop that project or delay it at the very least. Now, I have got my position on the record in the minutes. Certainly hasn't been, as far as I can see, a very high profile matter, but in due course, whether it's 2, 3, 4, 10 years into the future, I'll be able to say that I did what I could to save perfectly good trees, whereas others didn't, whether they didn't take the time to look into it, or whether they didn't care, or whether they were just simply misinformed. And that the Oakleigh that we know today is no longer, and that it may never come back. Just finally, the solution to the removal of the trees in terms of the environmental impacts, and the amenity is to replace trees that have been removed with smaller mature trees, that is not as tall trees, the canopy not as wide, but still to replace those trees. As far as I know, the actual tree, the species, hasn't been determined yet, although it's likely that the tree that is being looked at being used will actually eventually be used. But that will take some time, looking at a few months into the future, to replace those trees. I make the point, finally, in conclusion, that we were told these trees would not be removed. Now there's 15, maybe more trees that have been removed. That's been a very visible change to Oakleigh, to the boulevard that is the centre point of our community. So, you know, things have changed along the way, and I'll wait to see those trees be planted in Oakleigh. Nevertheless, there's a lot of good projects that are happening, and yes, sometimes councils are accused of spending money without proper planning, or maybe in exorbitant amounts, but my attitude has always been to be open and transparent with you, be accountable to you, and answer any questions at any time on any issue. And that's why I'm speaking to you now, but also why I have constant consultation with the community in Monash, and I always will. And I thank you for taking the time to watch this little video, and hopefully if you have any concerns, you can take the time to contact me as well.